Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to go over Mac Deploy Stick. This is a tool I use in my business for clients who don't have Apple School Manager or Apple Business Manager set up, so they're not able to use the device enrollment protocol. This way I can set up a device, I can enroll it into Monkey, into an MDM, and get different software installed. So today we're going to go over how we can set up a workflow in MDS and get that running on any machine. So to get started, what we're going to do is we are going to go out and download MDS from 2Canoe's website. So it's 2canoes.com. I'll go ahead and give you the link down in the description. And we want MDS here. And we can go ahead, it is a free download. And we'll go ahead and allow. And then install it on your device. And I'm good to move it to the trash. Alright, we don't need our browser anymore, so we're going to go ahead and close that. We'll go ahead now and open MDS right here. And we're not going to create a certificate. This is currently out of the scope of this video. All we are going to deal with today is workflows. So we're going to go ahead and hit the plus sign here, and I'll just call mine YouTube test. You can call yours whatever you like, and then we'll give it a quick description of what we are installing. Today we're going to install macOS Catalina, Google Chrome, Mozilla Firefox, Microsoft Office, and Monkey, and then a few different profiles, but we'll get into that when we get to the profiles point. So first we're going to go to macOS and install macOS. We're going to go ahead and use the local installer to set up MDS. We're setting up MDS on a USB key, not on a server. You're welcome to dig into that yourself, but that's not in the scope of this video. So to set up the local installer, we're going to hit select and go out to applications and install macOS Catalina. If you don't have Catalina in your applications folder, you can use MDS to download it. That is not within the scope of this video. I can certainly show you, or you can look up 2Canoe's documentation to download Catalina. You can also use the App Store. So we'll go ahead and hit open, and we are going to do erase and install, rename volume to Macintosh HD. And then after installing macOS and packages, we're going to go ahead and restart. So we can move on to resources now. We are going to wait for network before installing resources because we do have some resources that need the network. So we are going to install packages and apps. We'll select the folder, and that is on my desktop under MDS, and I just created a packages folder. We'll go ahead and open it, and I'll go through what's there. So I have a Monkey package to install Monkey. We have a Firefox package, a Google Chrome package, a Microsoft Office package, and then Monkey Kickstart, which will go ahead and kickstart Monkey for us before we even logged in. A thing to note is you can also give MDS DMG files, and MDS will go ahead and turn them into PKGs for you. So we'll enable all, which they're already enabled. So you can click off that, and we will move on to scripts. We'll grab a scripts folder here out of MDS. So we'll go MDS and scripts and take our scripts folder. This is going to go ahead and download Homebrew and set up our dock and set some Finder preferences for us. We don't need any of these scripts to run after macOS but before packages. There's nothing in those scripts that packages depend on, and we don't need it to go when running the workflow. So we'll leave it right where they are. And then finally we have some profiles, which we'll go back and grab. And these profiles will go ahead and set up our Finder for us, set up our Wi-Fi, and set up Microsoft Office so that it defaults to the On My Mac portion, not to OneDrive. So we're good in all of those things. we'll go on to creating a user account, and I'll create an administrator account. We'll just call it admin, and then give it a password. And you're welcome to select a photo. You can also set an SSH key if you've got one that you use across all your admin users. I don't have one at this point, and so therefore I'm not setting it. We do want to allow our current admin user to administer the computer, and I want it to be a hidden user. This is a great way to set up a local admin account hidden from your end users and still available for yourself to use when you're helping this user. So we'll hit OK. Next, we're on to our options. We want it to join Wi-Fi. I'll set it to one of my internal networks. And then we can set the computer name, and we can have it prompt while we're in the workflow. So we don't have to worry about using the serial number or anything like that. We can have it prompt us. I don't care to trust any server certificate at this point. We're not going to skip the setup assistant, so we can create another user. We're not going to skip anything in this. You're welcome to do so if you're just going to quick set it up and the user account's already created. We are going to enable SSH and allow admins to share the screen. I don't suggest disabling SIP, but if you're comfortable with it, this option is here for you. So I'll go ahead and hit OK, and we are set. The last pieces we need to do here are to connect to Wi-Fi before showing workflows, and we'll connect again to that FT clients, and we'll automatically run the workflow of YouTube test after 30 seconds. And then you can also have it go specifically to a target volume. So we'll go after Macintosh HD, and that way it's not going to run over itself on our MDS USB. Last piece I always like to do, unless this was previously already set up as an MDS USB key, I like to go into Disk Utility, choose my USB drive, we'll erase it, naming it MDS and formatting it as macOS Extended Journaled, not APFS. Don't set it as APFS, because if you do that, devices that are running operating systems older than Mojave will not be able to read that USB key, and you've rendered it essentially useless for your purposes. So Catalina and Mojave can read macOS Extended Journaled, and therefore can then run everything off this MDS drive. So we'll erase it, and done, and we'll jump out to MDS again, and we're going to go ahead and save it to a volume, that volume being our MDS USB key. We'll go ahead and open it. It's going to download Imager, which it uses to run the workflows, and now move all the packages over. This process does take some time, so I'm going to speed it up, possibly by like 10,000 times, so that way you're not waiting around to watch everything get put on this USB key. I'll catch you when we're ready to move on to the next step. Alright, so the resources have been saved successfully. We're good to go. We have an MDS USB key. So we're actually just going to go ahead and redeploy this computer with MDS. So I'm going to go ahead and restart, and I'm going to go ahead and hold the Option key on my keyboard. So upon boot up, we're going to go ahead and choose Command R. As you can see, I'm holding Command R, and it's booting. And it did not go right, so we're going to do Restart and Command R. So now it's going to take its time and slowly work its way to a point where it can get into the recovery partition. And there we go, we are in our recovery partition. And good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and bring it up on the screen for you. So first off, what I like to do is go into disk utility here and see what we've got. We have our MDS, and we have Macintosh HD and Macintosh HD data. Catalina added this data, it's partition, well, it's a data volume actually, and it is read-only. We are going to go ahead and erase Macintosh HD and erase the volume group and rename it as Macintosh HD. Good to go there. So we can get out by Command Q, and then we'll go ahead and go up to Utilities and Terminal so we can run our workflow. To do that, we'll type in / and then we go to our volumes, and we can, once we type in VO, we can tab it out, and then Shift MDS and tab, and then we need run is the command, and we'll go ahead and run it. You can see here we have information about our machine, and it's going to go ahead and try and connect to Wi-Fi. It is having issues with that, so we're going to go ahead and just connect it to Wi-Fi so that way it can run. For some reason it's having a hard time with it. Join. And now we're good to run Imager. And it pops up our install log and the Imager application. And because we set it to run, it's just going to go ahead and run YouTube test. So I'm going to let this roll and check back in when that's done. So at this point, I'm going to pause the recording and I'll show you what goes on after we've restarted. Before we go ahead and finish out, the last piece we need to do is set our computer name because we asked it to prompt us. So to do that, we're going to go, I'm going to go ahead and name it FT as my business name. And then because I'm using a really bad keyboard, it's hard to find the keys, but we need, and then I go A for Air, or P for Pro, or I for iMac. You can see my naming scheme. And then dash, and this one's just test Air. You can have your own naming scheme. You don't have to even follow anything like I do. Do what your business or what you like to do in your home. You can name it a pterodactyl for all I care. So we'll set computer name, and it's going to go ahead and run the workflow. Once that's done, like I said, I'll jump back in and show you how all of our different packages get installed and how Monkey gets run and everything that's done after we have provisioned this computer. So as you can see, we're in the point where we are done, and it's saying 8 of 8. See if I can. There we go. We're 100% completed, and autofocus wants to have some fun with us. So let me focus in for you. And as you can see, we are 8 of 8. I think that's the packages that it's installing. So right now it's working on finishing everything out for us, and we'll jump back in when we get to the setup screen. So unfortunately, we can't go ahead and show this as an actual screen, so we're going to just record it on my camera. So we'll do our setup. I'm in the United States, and continue, and we'll connect to the FT clients. And you can't see my keyboard, so we're good. Type in the password. And I don't have this tied to DEP, which is why we used MDS to set it up. And we'll continue. I'm not going to transfer any information. We'll set up Apple ID later and skip it. Agree to the terms and conditions. And we'll set up a Frog Tech account. We'll call it, and then set up a password. And continue. And we'll do the Express setup, so we'll continue. I don't care to share the information with developers, and we'll do screen time. I'm not going to enable Ask Siri, and I will just set up Touch ID later. We'll go with light and continue. Now it'll set up the Mac, and as you can see, we have Microsoft Office prompting us, and we have our things on the desktop, which is not always typical, but if we go in and look, we have Word, Excel, Outlook, OneNote, PowerPoint, OneDrive, and if we also check our Finder and applications, for some reason Chrome didn't get installed and neither did Firefox, but that's okay because we do have Monkey. So we are gonna also check our profiles, and we have our 3 profiles installed. It's not happy about Wi-Fi. That's okay. We're connected. I'm gonna go ahead and restart and see if we can't get Monkey's Kickstart to go. We'll restart that. See if we can't kickstart Monkey and get that rolling. But this is essentially MDS. If you liked this video, please click the thumbs up button and also consider subscribing to the channel, where I will post more content about my business, about Macs, about networking, and a whole lot more. Click the bell icon for notifications on when I post more videos. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one. See ya.